Part 34. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 331. At this moment, at the 800th floor, the speed of Qin Feng and others obviously slowed down. After all, the phantoms they faced were not too inferior to them in talent and physique. Generally speaking, there was a gap, but not much. As time passed, they still seemed to be at ease in the first 50 floors. In the last 50 floors, they had to really use their own physique. Heavenly tyrant body, tyrannical power. Thousand worlds divine body, thousand worlds illusionary picture. Heart of wisdom, divine light of wisdom. Fuxian Qin, Wanling Qin demon killer. Duguyujian. In an instant, the extremely terrifying battle scene kept appearing in everyone's eyes, and waves of terrifying power kept sweeping around. At this moment, on the road to immortality, only Qin Feng and 5 people and Li Bai were left. The rest of the demons and geniuses of the imperial family and the big family were basically defeated. Some of them also have the strength of the throne, but it's a pity that the competition for the throne is too fierce. Of course, there is an exception among them, that is Han Chen. At this moment, he is fighting bloody on the 750th floor, with wounds crisscrossing his body. Although he will not fall on the road to immortality, the pain is real. At this moment, countless eyes are staring at Han Chen. They don't need to understand why Han Chen insists so much. You know, even if he is eliminated now, he is still a saint. Why does this Han Chen insist on climbing to the top? So, this is the most regrettable thing. I watched him all the way, climbing from the 700th floor to the 750th floor step by step. What's more, he is a saint. This kind of mentality and great perseverance are rare. I hope this Han Chen can hold on, although I don't know what his determination is. At this moment, there are also many elders in the void discussing and competing for Han Chen. After all, although he is only a saint and his physique is just qualified, his mentality has undoubtedly touched several elders. This kid, I really don't know what he is still insisting on. Yeah, being able to climb from a saint to now is also against the will of heaven. No, I must accept him as my apprentice, just relying on this great perseverance. On the other side, Han Chen was forced to bleed again by the shadow of the Tianjiao in front of him. Give up, you can't beat me, you are just a saint, the gap between us is too big. This Saint Tianjiao said reluctantly. To be honest, in such a long battle, he is very optimistic about this junior. If he is given enough time, he will definitely be able to defeat him. I will never give up. Han Chen wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and his eyes burst into a hot light, as if he would never admit defeat. I really don't understand, you are already a saint, why are you obsessed with this? Senior, please forgive me for not being able to tell you about this matter. I can only say that I must reach the 799th floor. Han Chen looked at the shadow in front of him and said very firmly, even if he died, he would still fight. After a long silence, the phantom suddenly laughed heartily, and the laughter was extremely piercing. Ha 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 ha, not bad, really not bad. I have to say, you and I are really similar. When we were young, I seem to see my shadow in you. In that case, how about I help you? The eyes of the phantom at this moment were full of praise and full of pampering for the younger generation. Senior, you. Boy, come on, I believe that with this mentality, you will definitely reach a new height. After saying that, this Tianjiao phantom actually turned directly into the most refined energy and rushed into Han Chen's body. At this moment, Han Chen felt that his limbs were constantly washed by a stream of energy, and at the same time, he was constantly repairing his wounds. The next moment, Han Chen's realm seemed to have broken through the bottleneck, and a breath of the Saint King continued to spread from him, and this breath was still rising, and it was at the peak of the Saint King before slowly stopping. I broke through. Han Chen said in shock. That's right, Xiaochunzi, you have indeed broken through the Saint King. You have to thank the Phantom of the Genius just now. Now, you can finally use the skills I gave you. It is estimated to reach 799, no problem. In Han Chen's mind, an old voice slowly sounded. Hearing this, Han Chen said respectfully to the step. Senior, thank you very much, rest assured, I will not let you down. On the other side, countless people were dumbfounded. They didn't expect that there would be such a situation on the road to immortality. Damn, what's going on? How did Han Chen break through to the Saint King level, and even to the peak level? It seems that the Phantom just now helped him. Damn, isn't this cheating? Cheating, this is definitely cheating, it's not fair. What's unfair about this? Anyone with a discerning eye can see that if Han Chen's realm wasn't too low, he would definitely pass. Besides, Han Chen has the charm to let the seniors help him, can you? Even so, there are still many people who are jealous and protested. The Quasi-Emperor Elder just replied, this is within the rules, it's not cheating. Afterwards, Han Chen, overcoming all obstacles along the way, showed extremely powerful fighting power, especially being able to perform the skills given to him by Ming Lao, which was like a cheat, and everyone was stunned. Just a breakthrough of a Saint King, relying on the king-level physique, can he be so powerful? Didn't you notice that he performed a more powerful skill? Could it be that he had already comprehended this skill, but couldn't perform it because his realm was too low before? There is only this possibility, otherwise why didn't he perform it before? It's worthy of the heart of comprehension. An hour later, Han Chen used up all his spiritual power and finally defeated the 798th floor Phantom, and then without any stop, he stepped directly onto the 799th step. Buzz. The moment Han Chen stepped on it, this step suddenly emitted endless divine light outwards, and at the same time, a chaotic aura quickly spread across the entire road to immortality, and then enveloped the entire Fairy Sword Palace. This chaotic aura seemed to be the most primitive chaotic aura, and it seemed to have returned to the chaotic era, making countless people feel uncomfortable. On the other side, Qin Feng and others who had just finished fighting also turned their heads to look at Han Chen below. What's going on? This is chaotic aura. This kid is really mysterious, and now he has made such a big show. On the other side, Li Bai also noticed the situation. Sir, this is the chaotic aura, and it's the most primitive. Ling Mei said in great shock. This person has the heart of comprehension. Li Bai glanced at Han Chen and said slowly. When Ling Mei and Ergu heard this, they immediately looked at Han Chen, their eyes trembling constantly. This is, that chaos secret art. Yes, it should be, I guess it must be the heart of enlightenment in Han Chen's body that resonated with this chaos secret art. Is this why he insisted on stepping onto the 799th step? How can a saint like him know that there is a chaos secret art on this step? Gozi asked in great confusion. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 332. When Li Bai heard this, he slowly glanced at Han Chen. In an instant, all the secrets in Han Chen's body were revealed, including Ming Lao. I see. Sir, you know it? There is another soul in his body, but this soul is very weak. According to my observation, the realm of this soul during his lifetime has reached the level of Forerunner. Presumably, he should have told this disciple. Holy shit, Grandpa Goldfinger. Gozi was surprised. Sir, do you know the identity of this soul? Absolutely. Have you ever heard of the Wraith clan? Li Bai looked at Ling Biao and asked slowly. The Wraith clan? I have no impression. After thinking for a while, Ling Ye shook his head and said. The Wraith tribe is one of the rarest races. They do not belong to any world and only have a few thousand tribesmen. They are different from most creatures. They are born without bodies, only souls. They must rely on the help of others. Come and practice in the physical body. Seize the body. A word comes to mind. Haha, seizing the body is just the lowest method. The methods of the Wraith clan are too advanced. You can think of this disciple as a being with two souls in one body, but the two sides do not affect each other. When necessary, this ray of soul can occupy the body and be used to fight. Of course, the power of the soul can also be used directly. Later, Li Bai told Ling Ai and Urguzi about the Wraith clan in detail. I didn't expect that there is such a race in the world, born without a body. It is indeed heaven-defying. If Han Chen breaks through the Great Emperor, wouldn't it be equivalent to becoming two great emperors? With such a heaven-defying ability, no wonder it is so rare. Ling Ye said with emotion. Sir, what else is there for a race like this? There are very few, for example, the Time clan, who live in the long river of time. The number of their race is only a few dozen, but they are born with the power to appropriate the long river of time. Therefore, no matter in the past, present or future, all they are there. Another example is Tao. Road. What a strange name. Ling Ye and Ergoza said doubtfully. There are only 3 people of this race. 3 people, Master, can this be called a race? What's more, who is the father? Besides, no matter how powerful they are, there are only 3 of them. They are innate creatures that have appeared since the beginning of time, and everyone in the Tao has the strength of the originator. What do you think? Li Bai glanced at Ergoza. Hearing these words, Ling Ye and Ergoza stopped talking for an instant and looked at Li Bai with wide eyes. Tao is the source and origin of all great avenues, and it is also the great avenue that you and I control. These 3 people control all the great avenues in the world, from low level to taboo, and from time to time they will recreate some taboo avenues. Now, do you understand how terrifying Tao is? Li Bai said softly. Okay. I understand, to put it bluntly, they are our ancestors. Pretty much, unless you can break away from the Dao and create another way of cultivation, otherwise, even the other originators of the single-will Dao will be suppressed by these 3 people. Sir, this includes you. Ling Biao looked at Li Bai and asked boldly. He had no choice but to do so. He was really curious. After all, people in the world had no idea about Li Bai's strength. They just knew that he was immortal and immortal. After hesitating for a few seconds, Li Bai smiled and gave an extremely vague answer. Yes, but maybe not. On the other side, when Li Bai's eyes swept over Han Chen, Ming Lao instantly felt as if his identity had been seen through. At this moment, Han Chen also noticed something strange about Ming Lao, and asked with concern. Ming Lao, what's wrong with you? Someone saw my identity. What? How can this be? Ming Lao, haven't your race never come before in all the heavens and worlds? Han Chen said with great horror, and at the same time he was extremely worried in his heart. Of course, maybe I saw it wrong. Don't worry, kid, I won't be snatched away by others. After all, only we know the method of perfect fusion. Well, okay, Ming Lao. The moment Han Chen finished speaking, wisps of chaotic aura continued to pour into Han Chen's body. At the same time, the name of a technique slowly appeared in his understanding heart, and then merged into one. Chaos Comprehension Technique. Ming Lao, this is what I want to change my life. Han Chen asked extremely excitedly. Yes, this is the secret technique of chaos that is most suitable for your understanding. Secret technique of chaos. You don't need to know too much about this. Then, a ray of power spread out from Han Chen's heart of understanding. This power was very special and Han Chen had never seen it before. Ming Lao, this is. Don't be distracted. Follow my words and quickly guide this power into your pupils. Okay. Afterwards, under the guidance of Ming Lao, Han Chen successfully integrated this power into his own pupils. What is this? The pupil of comprehension, also known as the pupil of copying, is used exclusively in battle. Once out of battle, it is useless. The pupil of copying. Yes, in simple terms, it is the ability to copy all the opponent's moves and perform them at a glance. The power of the performance depends on yourself. Imperial technique, can it be used too? Of course, but after all, it depends on your own strength. The stronger you are, the stronger the moves you copy. Conversely, I don't need to elaborate too much. This is too outrageous. Haha, this is not the most outrageous thing. The most outrageous thing is that the copied skills do not require spiritual power to perform. Theoretically, you can perform them infinitely during the battle. For this, you need a very strong physique and soul to endure. For example, Qin Feng's heavenly tyrant body. Han Chen took a breath of cold air after hearing this. Just think about it, if he is at the same level as those evil spirits of the imperial clan, they will return their trump cards intact after using them, and perhaps infinitely. How terrible it is. Warm reminder, if you find that clicking the next page will force you to jump to other websites, please use the chapter error or contact us at the bottom to inform us. We will handle it as soon as possible. Thank you for your understanding. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 333. Of course, it is impossible for Han Chen to use the copied skills infinitely. Considering his physique, it is good enough for him to use the Emperor skill once. Then, Ming Lao began to say. If your copy pupil can evolve once, then the physical disadvantage in the battle will be greatly reduced. Ming Lao, what does this mean? In short, you can copy the opponent's physique and display any abnormality in the physique, but the time is very short. Copy physique. Ming Lao, can you copy the strongest physique? Of course, except for the physique of the primordial era and a few physiques of the chaotic era, you can copy the rest of the physiques. Hearing this, Han Chen was completely stunned. With his vision, he really couldn't think of such a heaven-defying skill in the world that could even copy the strongest physique. Don't think about it. If you want to evolve into the copy pupil, you must at least be at the Great Emperor level. Ming Lao reminded. Ming Lao, rest assured, I will work hard. Well, next, there is no need to continue the road to immortality, let's stop here. Ming Lao, I want to try this copy eye. Above the 800th floor, they are all emperors, and they are all disciples who are born with the potential of the emperor. You can't be their opponent now. What you should do now is to comprehend this chaos secret art. Okay, I know, Ming Lao. After saying that, Han Chen directly told the quasi-emperor elder that he had failed. After hearing Han Chen's words, countless disciples were puzzled. Ah, give up just now, I still want to see what he will do after he reaches the 800th floor. I want to know now, what exactly did this Han Chen get on the road to immortality, the original chaotic breath just now, there must be something fishy. The elders hiding in the void on the other side also frowned. Why did the road to immortality just now burst out with a chaotic aura? It should be that Han Chen got something. So that's why, no wonder he insisted on ascending to this level, but I'm still curious, how did he know? Who doesn't have a secret? We don't need to ask about this, as long as it doesn't harm our Xianjian Tiangong. As for Xuanhuan, After thinking about Han Chen's heart of comprehension and the secret of the road to immortality mentioned by the previous generation of Palace Master, he understood it in an instant. We must protect this disciple. Then, Xuanhuan said very solemnly. Palace Master, did you see something? If my guess is correct, this Han Chen should have obtained a skill, and it is a skill from the chaotic era. Not only that, this skill can be said to be naturally prepared for the heart of comprehension. A skill prepared for the heart of comprehension, or the chaotic era. For a while, no matter how hard the elders racked their brains, they couldn't think of it. At this moment, an older elder suddenly thought of something and said in shock. Wait, I think I thought of something. Palace Master, you are not talking about Chaos Secret Art. Yes, that's right, it is one of the Chaos Secret Art, Chaos Enlightenment Art, which is a Chaos Secret Art that can only be mastered by the heart of enlightenment. Xuanhuan said affirmatively. Chaos Enlightenment Art, hasn't it disappeared long ago? Damn, there is actually a Chaos Secret Art hidden in the Immortal Road. What else did the Sword Immortal Ancestor hide? This is really unbelievable. The elders all widened their eyes, their bodies stiffened, and their lips trembled. If not, I just remembered the secret that the previous Palace Master told me, maybe even I can see it. Do you know what is the most amazing thing about Chaos Enlightenment Art combined with the Heart of Enlightenment? Xuanhuan looked at the elders and asked. In response, the elders could only shake their heads mechanically. That is, in battle, you can copy all the opponent's skills, even the imperial skills. If this copying eye evolves again, you can also copy the opponent's physique, including the strongest body. Gurgle. For a moment, the sound of frantic swallowing of saliva was endless. Then, the elders looked at Han Chen with burning eyes, as if they were looking at a peerless woman dancing gracefully. Of course, they also knew that this kind of heaven-defying ability must have certain limitations, but just relying on these 2 points is enough. No, this Han Chen is my disciple, no one can compete with me. Why, you are an old man, why do you have to be yours with so many elders here? Why does Han Chen like you? Because you don't take a bath, because you are old. Besides, if I give you such a good seedling, wouldn't it be misleading the students? That's right, that's right. Okay, stop arguing, it depends on Han Chen's own plan, or you can go over now and ask him whose disciple he is willing to be. Xuanhuan said with a frown. As soon as the words fell, the elders disappeared in an instant. On the other side, the quasi-emperor elder in charge of the assessment felt a little regretful when he heard this. Well, although it's a pity, but with the help of the Saint King, you can reach the 799th place, which has surpassed most people. Although, we don't know what you did at the 799th place, but, no matter what you get, we won't ask. Thank you, Elder, forgive me. Han Chen breathed a sigh of relief. What he feared most was that if the Fairy Sword Palace asked about it, what would he do? Now this trouble doesn't exist. By the way, ask another question. Elder, please ask. Are you willing to be my disciple? The assessment elder asked with a smile. Old man, you are shameless. Damn it, you want to strike first. Get out of my way, I was the first one to see Han Chen. At this moment, a breath of quasi-emperor came from all directions, and then, more than a dozen elders appeared in front of Han Chen and began to throw olive branches crazily. Friend Han Chen, are you willing to join my lineage? Don't worry, you can make any conditions, even the imperial technique. Friend Han Chen, don't listen to his nonsense, join our lineage, I am training the current emperor's son, don't worry, as long as you join, you can make any conditions. We can do it too, and my lineage is full of female disciples, each of them is stunningly beautiful, not to mention, who doesn't have an emperor's daughter, little brother Han Chen, look at the sky, that Mu-11 is from my lineage, you know, the one who is close to the water gets the moon first. Beauty trap, crazy woman, you are shameless. At this moment, Han Chen's head was buzzing, and the elders said one thing after another, making his head explode. Hum, hum, what did Han Chen do? Why do all the elders want to accept him as a disciple? Damn, I'm so jealous. Wow, I also want to join the lineage of Muxi Emperor's daughter. Jealousy makes me split apart. Han Chen is just a saint's son, is it that serious? Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 334. On the other side, except for Xuanhuan, the 6 emperors in the sky looked slightly shocked, especially Mu-11, who looked extremely embarrassed when she heard her master's words. She didn't like being younger than herself. Not to mention, she is also a face control person. It seems that Master and the others already know the secret behind Han Chen just now. It's not easy for so many elders to fight for it together. Indeed, after all, we also felt the aura of chaos just now. It should be a product of the chaotic era, and everything in the world, even if it is ordinary, will be fought over by countless people as long as it is contaminated with the word chaos. It's just sensationalism. With his physique, even if he obtains something unbelievable, so what? His physique has already determined his upper limit. He can reach it by dying, he is just a quasi-emperor. Hey, Lord Xuetong, you are jealous, no, you are not envious of what others get, are you? Chen Tian said angrily. Want to have a fight? Xuetong said in a cold tone. There will be plenty of opportunities in the future, so why are you anxious? Immediately, Chen Tian ignored Xuetong, looked at Xuanhuan and said. Waner, what do you think of this Han Chen? First of all, this Han Chen is not simple. He is very likely to challenge the throne in the future. Secondly, I have said it 10,000 times, don't call me Waner, we are not that close. Xuanhuan looked at Chen Tian coldly and said. The rest of the people also know that Chen Tian likes Xuanhuan, but it's a pity that Tai's Hang is ruthless. After all, it will end with falling flowers and flowing water ruthlessly. Chen Tian just smiled and nodded. He naturally knew that Xuanhuan was extremely ruthless, but now she had just given up the emotion of fear and love. As the saying goes, licking dogs, licking. It's all there at the end. On the other side, Han Chen fell into an extremely difficult choice after seeing so many olive branches extended to him by the quasi-emperor elders. In the end, he simply asked Ming Lao directly. Ming Lao, tell me, who should I choose? You kid, do you still need me to tell you such a thing? Hey, isn't it too hard for me to choose? Stop flattering, you can choose that old man, he has the deepest understanding of the avenue, and it will be good for you in the future. Ming Lao pointed out an elder to Han Chen. Okay, no problem. Afterwards, Han Chen looked at the elder and said. I choose, this elder. Upon hearing this, the elder suddenly smiled as brightly as a chrysanthemum. Ha 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 ha, good disciple, don't worry, master, I won't let you down. After saying that, he just ran away with Han Chen as if he was afraid of something happening. The rest of the elders can only be unwilling to accept this. They have no choice but to do so. This is their own choice. But fortunately, there are many evil disciples who can make them choose. As for Qin Feng and Qin Shuang, monsters from the imperial clan, although they have the personal guidance of the emperor, after all, being able to become an elder of the immortal sword heavenly palace is a way of reaching the pinnacle, and even the emperor is not as good as them. So, there is still hope for them. Soon, the storm calmed down. After all, even if Han Chen is powerful, he can't compare to Qin Feng, Qin Shuang, and others. Everyone's eyes quickly returned to these geniuses. At this moment, Qin Feng and others had reached the 890th floor. As for the extremely slow Li Bai and the other three, everyone was not surprised. When Qin Feng and others reached the 890th floor, an exciting scene appeared. The opponent Qin Feng and the others faced turned out to be the Emperor's daughter, Mu-11. Look, they are finally facing the current Emperor. Ah, I'm so excited. I wonder if they can defeat the Emperor Muxi. This is the battle between emperors. In the midst of lightning and flint, Qin Feng and others began to fight. Boom! A series of terrifying shockwaves are bombarding the road to immortality. The various endless moves made everyone excited, but the shadow was just a shadow after all, and could not reflect all of Mu-11's battles. After a fierce battle, all 5 people passed the test. Humph, I knew that none of these 5 would be easy to deal with. In the sky, Mu-11 pouted and said, "There is no way. After all, they are all disciples from the big clan. Before you joined the immortal sword Tiangong, you were just a small transparent person in a quasi-emperor force. Naturally, you can't compare with them. What's more, their talents are already above us. A little bit." Bai Zhu said slowly. "Wow, you are so good at comforting people. Stop comforting me again." Mu-11 rolled her eyes and said. In the following period, the 5 Qin Feng first defeated the 2 emperors Beizu and Xuanhuan, as well as several other former emperors. However, although they all defeated them, it was still quite difficult. At this moment, Wu Shui gasped and said, "Holy shit, what's going on with this Xuanhuan? She doesn't have any fear. I feel like I'm not fighting a living being. I heard that she seems to have practiced supreme ruthlessness and has given up the emotion of fear. Dugu seeks defeat, his eyes filled with overwhelming fighting spirit. He is a sword madman. The stronger his opponent, the more excited he becomes. The Supreme is ruthless, no wonder, with a cold face, it makes everyone feel like they owe him something. Sooner or later, endocrine disorders will occur." Wu Shui whispered. "Okay, everyone, you guys take a rest first, I want to continue fighting." After Gugu Qiubai finished speaking, he stepped onto the next step, which was Chen Tian's phantom. "Damn, this lunatic, isn't he tired? Damn it, I can't lose to him." After Qin Feng finished speaking, he also stepped onto the 898th step. Finally, someone lost on this step, that is Qin Shuang. After all, her physique has not evolved into the eternal divine body, otherwise there is definitely hope to reach the 900th step and become the emperor. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Benpao de la Chang. Chapter 335. Countless disciples saw the scene and felt a little regretful. Alas, it's a pity. If Qin Shuang hadn't had physical problems, I feel that he would definitely be able to reach the 900th floor. That's right, the gap between the 1000-era divine body and the 10,000-era divine body is still too big. But if Qin Shuang's physical body evolves in the future, he can definitely impact the throne. At this moment, the remaining few people, except for Qin Feng and Dugu Qiubai who defeated Chen Tian's phantom with a little ease, the remaining 2 women had almost tried their best to defeat Chen Tian's phantom. At this moment, Qin Shuang said to Qin Feng, "Brother, come on, you must ascend to the throne, otherwise, you will be beaten by your father and mother when you go home." Sister, you don't have to deliberately say what happened later, I also want to save face." Qin Feng pulled the corner of his mouth and said. Afterwards, the 4 of them ushered in the next opponent, Blood Eyes. At this moment, the phantom with blood pupils said to the 4 people, "This will be your end point. However, you have already gone against the will of heaven to get here. Haha, you are so arrogant. What are you pretending to be in front of me? You are pretending to be an elephant with a scallion stuck in your nose. Qin Feng responded without any hesitation. Stop talking nonsense and take my sword, you big idiot. As for Dugukaiubai, if you can take action, try not to talk too much. When Wu Shui and Qin Miao Miao heard this, they were also angry in their hearts. After all, they were all disciples trained by the core of the big family. Who would be absolutely inferior to whom? Heavenly tyrant body, eternal tyrant fist, I will kill you with one punch. One sword light chills 13 states, this sword is called, the sword of no self. Take it as the destiny of wisdom, call, the sword of wisdom, wipe out all the stupidity in the world. Qin Dao Wanfa, soothe the chaos. Boom. At this moment, the four demons and geniuses all played one of their trump cards. Haha, let me show you the real difference. Blood pupil kills, blood sea chaos. The shadow of the blood pupil of the dead lord did not hesitate and directly exerted his own physique. In an instant, a sea of blood directly occupied the entire sky, and the sky and the earth were all scarlet. At the same time, an extremely strong bloody breath, mixed with the ultimate blood-killing intention, came from all directions. On the other side, the three people eating watermelons below were watching the battle in front of them with interest. Tisk tisk, young master, this blood pupil is not simple. I don't know how many lives have been killed to gather into the sea of blood. Goza didn't know where he got a whole watermelon from, and he ate it with relish. After all, the blood pupil is not weaker than the existence of the chaos pupil. Even in terms of killing alone, the blood pupil is stronger than the chaos pupil, and is only second to the invincible double pupil. And, there are melons. Ling Mei said slowly. I feel that this time, except for the one with the heaven tyrant body and the one with the sword, the other two are a bit shaky, Goza said slowly. Don't worry, they won't lose. After all, their imperial arts haven't been used yet. Besides, even if they don't use the imperial arts, the four of them can defeat this blood eye, but it's just a little more laborious, Li Bai said lightly, and asked for a watermelon and started to eat it, as if the three of them were outsiders. He actually likes to watch these Tianjiao fight. After all, it's easy for him to think of the people around him. Sometimes, it makes him feel like a dream. Well, that's right. After all, they are all demon Tianjiao. At this age, they should have comprehended an imperial art, and the result of this battle was just as Li Bai said. The four of them finally defeated the Blood Eye Shadow without using the imperial art. However, Qin Feng and the other four were not much better. They were pale, ragged, and covered with criss-cross wounds. This made Chen Tian, who was already unhappy with Suitong, even more sarcastic. Oh, Master Suitong, you lost, and you didn't defeat any of the four. Tisk tisk, it seems that you are not that good. Humph. And Suitong himself snorted, and then turned away with a gloomy face. The biggest shortcoming of Suitong is that he is too arrogant. He always thinks that all the geniuses in the world are not his opponents. It's what he deserves. He was originally arrogant. From a weekend in the lower realm, he jumped to the Emperor's son of the Fairy Sword Palace. He has been arrogant to an unknown degree. Okay, don't worry about him. Sooner or later, he will fall from the throne. If, I guess correctly, the next person they should face is Lao Jian. Lao Jian, who do you think can beat your phantom? After Chen Tian finished speaking, he turned his head and looked at Xuanhuan, who was very calm on the side. You won't know until you try. But you must not underestimate them, after all, they all mastered an imperial technique. Tisk, it's as if you didn't master an imperial technique when you ascended to the immortal path. Chen Tian curled his lips and said. I'm different from them. The immortal sword palace doesn't belong to my father, and their family will be theirs sooner or later. So, even if I master an imperial technique, it can't be as profound as theirs. Xuanhuan shook his head and said. Now that you've said that, I'm really looking forward to seeing your fight. I'm talking about a real fight. Don't worry, there will be. Don't forget those places. Hearing Xuanhuan's words, Chen Tian and others looked at each other, each with their own thoughts in their hearts. I heard that the Emperor's cemetery was actively invited by the spiritual clan to all the top forces. It's really strange. According to their overbearing character, how could they give it to outsiders? You know, that's the Emperor's cemetery, and I heard from the palace master that it's an extremely old Emperor's cemetery. Chen Tian frowned and said. This is indeed a suspicious point. Not only that, they also named it. It must be a disciple above the God King realm, and there is an age limit. You know, at this age, there are only 6 of us who can reach the God King realm, not to mention the other forces. I always feel that this is more like a conspiracy against us. Mu11's face at this moment was also rare and extremely serious. Forget it, even if there is a conspiracy, what can they do? Don't forget that among these top forces, there is also the Daijun clan. Before joining forces with us, even the Spirit clan must think carefully. That's right. On the other side, Qin Feng and others, after healing for a while, immediately climbed the 899th step, which is also the last step to the throne. As long as they can pass it, the throne will be in their pockets. Soon, a shadow slowly appeared in front of them. It was Xuanhuan. Congratulations, you have come to the last step of the throne. As long as you can defeat my shadow, you can become the son and daughter of the emperor. Then the shadow of Xuanhuan said. Then stop talking nonsense, let's get started. I know that you still have an emperor technique that you haven't used yet. Why not, one move to decide the outcome? One move to decide the outcome. That's right, use the emperor technique to decide the outcome. Hearing this, Qin Feng and the other 4 looked at each other. Okay, no problem. No problem. Both of us, no problem. Ha 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 ha, in that case, let me see your imperial skills. After saying that, Xuanhuan's shadow suddenly burst out with momentum, and in an instant, a faint imperial power came from them. And Qin Feng and the other 4 were also not to be outdone, with full momentum, and a faint imperial power also emanated from them. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Benpao de la Chang. Chapter 336. They actually used the Emperor technique, and one move decided the outcome. Damn, I suspect they are pretending. This is the Emperor technique, the technique of the great Emperor. There are not many of them in the Immortal Sword Palace. As expected, they are the most talented group of monsters. At this age, they have mastered an Emperor technique. What should I, the God King, do? Qin Feng, come on, I'm betting on you to ascend to the throne. Then, Xuanhuan took the lead. Emperor technique, Immortal Sword technique. Xuanhuan drew out a snow-white longsword and slashed it out. In an instant, in the sky, endless immortal light flashed, and at the same time, 4 blurred figures slowly appeared. It can be seen that they have some appearance of Xuanhuan, but the momentum of this figure is different, as if it is a real immortal. The temperament is detached from the world, not eating worldly fireworks, not stained by the world, not involved in cause and effect, escaping from the false, and wandering outside the world. People can't help but worship. Then, the 4 figures gently drew a sword towards Qin Feng and the other 3. In an instant, the dazzling immortal light pierced the sky and reached the deep space universe. Come on, Emperor technique, Eternal Divine Fist. Qin Feng roared, and a figure similar to him slowly appeared, punched the sword light, combined with the domineering way of the heavenly tyrant body, tore the void, swept the clouds, and shook the sky. Good swordsmanship, worthy of the sword immortal palace. Then come and try our 10,000 sword sex emperor technique. Emperor technique, 10,000 swords return to the sect. Gu Duqiubai's eyes flashed with madness, took out his sword, and drew it with a sword. Countless sword lights were like rainstorm pear blossoms, rushing towards the sword light with the momentum of a king. If Xuanhuan's is an immortal sword that transcends everything, then Gu Duqiubai's swordsmanship is the master of 10,000 swords. At the same time, the swords of all the disciples were constantly resonating, as if they had seen their king. My little girl, I'm going to show you my ugliness. Emperor's art, the demon of Qin is dancing wildly. Qin Miao Miao kept playing the Qin with both hands. In an instant, the phantoms of thousands of gods and demons kept appearing. Under the influence of the sound of the Qin, they burst out with terrifying fighting power one by one. At the same time, waves of sound turned into a wave of destruction and rushed towards Xuanhuan's phantom. Emperor's art, the dawn of wisdom. Wu Shui murmured, and her whole body continued to emit a stream of light golden light. She seemed like the goddess of wisdom, holding a magic wand and gently waving it. A ray of dawn came from the sky, dispelling some darkness and stupidity in the world, as if it brought wisdom and enlightenment to the whole world. It's humming terrifying, this is the Emperor's art. I feel like I can't live for more than a second. Wu, I'm so envious, why don't I have an Emperor's art? Forget it, even if I give it to you, can you comprehend it and use it? You should know that using an Emperor's art requires a very high level of physical fitness, otherwise, you'll probably fall apart before you finish using it. At this moment, countless pairs of eyes were fixed on the outcome of this battle. Who do you think will win? An elder asked slowly. I don't know. All four of them are very strong, but they have only practiced for a short time. I feel that Qin Feng should be able to win. His imperial technique combined with the heavenly tyrant body is really terrifying. This kind of physical strength, unless it is the ancient saint body, otherwise. Duguqiubai is not bad. Although the Wanjian sect is not as good as our Xianjian Tiangong, they are not worse than us in swordsmanship. After the dust dissipated and the terrifying aftermath passed, only two of the original four phantoms on the sky remained, which means that two were eliminated and two succeeded. In the end, Qin Feng and Gu Duqiubai were half kneeling on the steps weakly, while Wu Shui and Qin Miao Miao were already unconscious. It's Qin Feng and Duguqiubai, they won, they achieved the throne. Damn, I made a fortune, and I also bet on Qin Feng's throne. Damn, why didn't I add a little more at that time? Then, Qin Feng and Duguqiubai stood up with difficulty and stepped onto the last step. At this moment, a few rays of light from the sky sprinkled on the four people, and the spiritual power that had been exhausted was instantly filled up. Not only that, the original injuries on the body also disappeared, returning to the peak state. Wu Shui and Qin Miao Miao also woke up at this moment and went down the immortal road, but there was no frustration on their faces. They believed that it would not take long for them to impact the throne. Anyway, they picked the weak ones. Xuanhuan, hug. Wu Shui found Qin Shuang as soon as possible. Okay, you are so old, you two are at least better than me, and you are pretending to be pitiful here. Qin Shuang said speechlessly. He, if Xuanhuan is the eternal god body, she will definitely pass. It's okay, the three of us work hard and strive for it. We will attack the throne soon. That's right, I think we should find Beizu and Muxi, after all, they are the weakest, he. At this moment, the assessment elder said to Qin Feng and Duguqiubai. Congratulations on becoming the emperor's son. Now, can you continue to climb or choose to leave? Qin Feng glanced at Duguqiubai and said. What about you? Of course I will continue to climb. Ha ha ha, me too, the heaven tyrant body, isn't that the case? I will never let down the tyrant body lineage. Then, the two climbed up the 901st step again. It makes my blood boil. Emperor Qin Feng, I love you. Many female disciples couldn't help but express their admiration for Qin Feng. There was nothing they could do. Qin Feng was more handsome than Gu Du Qiu Bai, and their strengths were similar. Tisk, superficial, the son of Emperor Du Guqiu Bai is awesome. Don't forget, we are the Fairy Sword Palace, focusing on swordsmanship. Yes, that's right, brothers, we can't lose to those women. Do you think the two of them can break the record of the son of Emperor Xuanhuan? If I remember correctly, the son of Emperor Xuanhuan seems to be on the 909th floor. It's probably hanging. By the way, why haven't those three people moved yet? What are they doing? Damn, they are watching the show and eating melons. Please respect the road to immortality, okay? I'm so greedy for the melons in their hands. Sell melons, sell melons. At this moment, some smart disciples quickly got a batch of melons to sell. How much? 100 fairy sword crystals. Why don't you go and grab it? Your melon is a fairy melon. Look, where can I find melons now? Do you want to buy it? I'll buy it, but is your melon ripe? Nonsense, I can sell you a raw melon, and do you want to buy it? Ripe, I will definitely buy it. Are you looking for trouble on purpose? Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 337. At this moment, someone finally remembered the melon-eating trio. And Li Bai and the three of them also felt that there were countless eyes directed towards them. Master, are we going too far? Ergo spat out a watermelon seed and said slowly. I feel a little too, but not much. Ling Biao echoed from the side. In this case, it's our turn to show off, ahem, it's time to show up. You guys, go to your respective steps first and get what's inside. Li Bai said lightly. Hearing these words, Ergo's eyes instantly lit up. After holding it in for so long, he was finally able to show off. Hey, master, I come first. After saying that, Ergo's momentum changed and he rushed upwards at an unparalleled speed. As for Ling Biao, it is not so showy, that is, one move per move. After all, both of them are real emperors, so naturally they cannot be compared to these phantoms. As for Li Bai, he slowly followed behind the two of them. His moves were very bland, without any bells and whistles at all. Suddenly, all the eyes in the audience were attracted by the three people, their faces were horrified, and their eyes were full of confusion and shock. Damn, what's going on? These three people. One move, just one move. Did you see that they all eliminated the phantom in one move? Cheating, this is definitely cheating. At this moment, all the elders of the immortal sword Tiangong looked at each other, their pupils trembling constantly, and at the same time they conveyed a message, these three are not human beings. To be precise, they are definitely not disciples of this realm. Because in the duel between Ergozi and Ling Biao, they noticed a hint of imperial power. Ling Biao was better, especially Ergozi, who had a strong imperial power. What should I do? Are they? The palace master didn't say anything, let's wait for a while. That's right. It's impossible for the palace master not to notice this kind of thing. Let's just wait and see what happens. At this moment, in the void, although the face of the master of the fairy sword palace appeared very calm, the vibration in his pupils betrayed him. Haha, it's really interesting. The three great emperors really think highly of our immortal sword heavenly palace. I don't know what their plans are. At this moment, Xuanhuan's mind was running wildly. The three great emperors hid their identities and entered the immortal sword heavenly palace. If they said they wanted to join the immortal sword heavenly palace, it was pure nonsense. Is it for the purpose of ascending to immortality? A glimmer of light flashed in Xuanhuan's eyes, and he said doubtfully. Although he knows some secrets of the road to immortality, he is not that thorough. But now it seems obvious that this man in white may know all the secrets of the road to immortality. Let's take a look. So far, they don't have any malicious intent. After saying that, Xuanhuan sank into the void again. As for the other side, Li Bai and the others caught up, Qin Feng and Dugu sought defeat. At this moment, Dugu Kaiubai and Qin Feng had just killed the phantoms on the 930th floor. Their bodies were covered with horrific scars and their auras were disordered. It could be seen that they were infinitely close to the peak. It was estimated that there would be another 3 or 5 layer. I can't hold it anymore. For the two of them, this achievement has crushed 99% of the geniuses in the eternal upper world. After all, their physiques have not yet fully exerted themselves, and their realm has not reached the perfection of the Holy Lord. While the two of them were resting cross-legged, Ergozi and Ling Biao walked past them quietly. Hey, you two, take a rest. Ergozi looked at the two of them and said slowly. You. How can it be? When Qin Feng and Dugu Kaiubai saw the two of them, their expressions were extremely shocked and frightened. The appearance of Ling Ai and Ergozi completely exceeded their expectations. No surprise, no surprise. Ergozi said with a smile. Impossible, how did you get to this level? Qin Feng said in disbelief. Why can't we? But don't you understand this? This is the highest level of pretentiousness. Are you hiding your clumsiness? After Dugu Kaiubai calmed down a little, he said slowly. Okay, Ergozi, let's go quickly, there's no need to waste time here. Ling Biao said coldly. At this moment, she just wanted to climb to the 990th floor and see what the thing that suited her as a supreme being was. Ling Ye didn't pay much attention to Qin Feng and the two. After all, she had seen too many evil geniuses in the Ling clan. Although Qin Feng and Dugu Kaiubai were very strong and had the potential to become emperors, having the potential to become an emperor and becoming an emperor completely are two different concepts. In all the worlds, there are many geniuses who have the potential to become emperors, but in the end, only a few of them ascend to the throne of God. Oh, okay, sister. After saying that, the two of them went directly to the next level. Qin Feng and Dugu Qiu were defeated. After seeing the two of them solve the phantom with just one move, they instantly felt that the sky was falling. They needed to do their best to defeat it. Xueying, Ergozi and Ling Ai only need one simple move. This kind of disparity is okay for Dugu Kaiufei, but Qin Feng cannot accept it. As the emperor's son of the Qin family, he possesses the body of heaven hegemony, and was personally trained by the emperor of the Qin family. How can he accept his pride? How could their strength be so strong? This is impossible. This is definitely not the realm that the Holy Lord should be in. Xianjian Tiangong, don't you guys check it out? This doesn't conform to the rules. They are definitely not at the level of Saint Venerable. Qin Feng shouted at the top of his lungs. In fact, many people have already noticed something fishy here, but no one dares to say it. After all, at the 900th floor, everyone is a peerless genius. Even if they are worse, they won't be much worse, and the level of these phantoms is even higher. Even the palace master of Xianjian Tiangong couldn't kill them with one move. There is only one reason, they are definitely not at the level of Saint Venerable, they must be above the God King. At this moment, countless Xianjian Tiangong elders turned a deaf ear to Qin Feng's doubts. Just kidding, the palace master has just told them that these three are the real emperors. Let them question the three emperors, are they too short of life? What's more, they only have the palace master, the emperor, in Xianjian Tiangong now. Of course, they are not afraid of Xianjian Tiangong. You, Xianjian Tiangong, that's just the way it is. Qin Feng looked at the silent elders and said fiercely. Does our Xianjian Tiangong need your Qin family to question it? When did a Qin family emperor dare to question our Xianjian Tiangong like this? At this time, an extremely majestic voice slowly came out of the void, and at the same time, there was an imperial power that spread across the sky. Puff. The moment Qin Feng came into contact with this imperial power, a mouthful of blood gushed out, condensing into blood flowers in the air. Palace Master, please forgive me. Palace Master, our emperor didn't mean it, please raise your hands. At this time, two eternal gods appeared in the void and pleaded to the sky. They were the eternal gods of the Qin family and the protectors of Qin Feng and Qin Shuang. Humph, if this emperor really wanted to do this, he would have turned into ashes long ago. Don't do it again. Xuanhuan's voice slowly came out. Thank you, Lord Palace Master. Afterwards, our Qin family will personally apologize. No need. Brothers, I'm back. Something happened at home some time ago, and it was only resolved a few days ago. At this moment, I want to say sorry to everyone. Starting tomorrow, I will resume updating. I will try to write more every day. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 338. Then, the voice of the master of the immortal sword palace came from the void again, but this time it was said to Li Bai and the others. Three of you, with your strength, you don't need to participate in the road to immortality. I wonder if you can go to the heavenly palace to discuss it in detail. As these words fell, countless disciples of the immortal sword heavenly palace were stunned. They suspected that they had heard wrongly. Their palace master, a great emperor, actually invited these three people to the heavenly palace for a detailed discussion. The heavenly palace is equivalent to the ancestral land of the immortal sword heavenly palace. Only Xuanhuan and the other great emperor ancestors are eligible to enter the entire immortal sword heavenly palace. Because this is the residence of the founder of Fairy Sword Heavenly Palace. What's even more shocking is that this time, there is even a little bit of respect in the tone of the Immortal Sword Palace Master. You must know that their Palace Master is a great emperor. To be able to be respectful to a great emperor, at least means that the other party's realm must be the same, or even higher. Holy shit, did I hear it right? The Palace Master invited them to the Heavenly Palace. The last time there were outsiders in the Heavenly Palace, it was when the emperors of the three major imperial clans at that time jointly requested something. That's right, even ordinary emperors are not qualified to enter. Can it be said that the strength of these three people? Damn it, I can't even imagine it. Those are three great emperors. No wonder, if the emperor intends to hide everything about himself, no one except the palace master can tell it at all. SHHH, keep your voice down, this kind of thing is not something we rookies can discuss. Of course, the most shocked person about all this belongs to Qin Feng. Even if he is brainless at this moment, he also knows that the identities of these three people are extremely terrifying. In all my life, this is the first time I have heard such a tone from the palace master. Mu11 opened her red lips slightly and said in shock. We should have thought of it a long time ago. To be able to kill a phantom with one move so easily must be hiding something. Chen Tian frowned and said. Wan'er, what do you think? Mu11 said to Shang Guanwan'er, who was in a daze. I have already said that the man in white made me feel afraid, but you still didn't believe it at the beginning. Shang Guanwan'er said expressionlessly. Who would have thought of this? You are so skilled in cultivation that you have cut off the source of fear. Even if you face the great emperor, you won't have the slightest emotion of fear. So, the strength of the man in white, has, beyond the great emperor. After a while, several people came to such a ridiculous conclusion. Okay everyone, These are not what we are talking about, let's just think about that. At this time, Xuanhuan, who had been silent for a long time, slowly spoke to several people. You mean, what the Eldar said? Chen Tian frowned and said. That's right, those are the places. But, I always feel that something is wrong. How could the spirit clan share the quota in a place like that? Indeed, this time, they are contacting the top forces in our eternal upper world, including the Daijun family. I don't know what they are planning. Bai Zhu was holding a folding fan, his eyes flashing with light. He was carrying the body of Tianyan, and he always felt that something was wrong with this matter. After all, they know very well the nature of the spiritual race, so it's a good thing they didn't plunder the eternal upper realm. Who cares? What else can they do to us? You know, even the spirit clan can't stand the alliance of top forces like us, let alone the Emperor Jun clan. I have a huge gut feeling we're probably going to die. At this moment, the silent Xuanhuan suddenly said these incredible words. Damn it, Wan, don't scare us. Wan, do you know something? Mu-11 took a deep look at Xuanhuan and said. You don't have to be like this, I'm just saying we might die, that's all. Xuanhuan still looked expressionless, as if death meant nothing to her. Damn, what are you talking about, Wan? Do you want to listen to what you are saying? What does it mean that you may die, that's all? Muziran on the side said with his eyes widened. You are truly worthy of being a cultivating woman who forgets all love and cares about life and death. Bai Zhu said helplessly from the side. In this regard, Xuanhuan did not continue to explain, but just focused on the white figure on the road to immortality. Now she just wants to figure out why she is afraid of this man in white. On the other side, after hearing this, Ergozi and Ling Ye stopped where they were and murmured in a low voice. This old man, has he seen our strength? Haha, after all, the other party is a great emperor. If you can't tell, he is not worthy to be the master of this immortal sword heavenly palace. What's more, we didn't deliberately hide our aura just now. Ling Biao said lightly. At this time, Li Bai glanced into the void, his gaze seemed to travel through the past and present, with an unknown emotion. With just one glance, Xuanhuan, who was in the void, felt as if everything about him had been seen through. Then, emotions such as fear, horror, etc. that had not appeared for a long time, at this moment, kept pouring out of his heart. Immortal Emperor, not bad. When we finish our journey to immortality, there will be things you want to know. Li Bai spoke calmly, his tone calm. As for the disciples and the elders of the immortal sword heavenly palace, they all took a breath after hearing Li Bai's words. Except for their ancestors from the immortal sword heavenly palace, even the emperors of the imperial clan, no one dared to speak to Xuanhuan in this tone. After Xuanhuan calmed down for a while, he reluctantly said. Senior, no problem. Boom. Xuanhuan's words caused the world to become silent, as if time had paused at this moment, and everyone seemed to have stopped breathing. Did you hear it correctly? What did the palace master shout just now? Senior, it's Senior, I heard you right. I will post one chapter today. There are already 4 chapters, but they need to be revised. I will post them together tomorrow. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 339. As Xuanhuan's senior call fell across the entire immortal sword heavenly palace, everyone's eyes changed when they looked at Li Bai. They knew too well the weight of Xuanhuan's senior call. This is the title of a great emperor. To be called a senior by a great emperor, and also an immortal emperor, you can imagine how terrifying Li Bai is. At this moment, Xuanhuan in the void also had a bitter look on his face. Of course he didn't really mean to call him senior, but that look from Li Bai just now was really terrifying. The main reason was that in this gaze that seemed to travel through eternity and see through the long river of time, he saw the most shocking and horrifying picture. Even though it was only fleeting, it still caused a huge shock to him. Hey, who is this senior? At this point, I can only ask my ancestor. This matter is no longer something I can solve. After Xuanhuan murmured in a low voice, he went directly to the heavenly palace. Yes, he was preparing to awaken an ancestor, the palace master of the previous generation. As for Li Bai and the others, they had no emotions after hearing this and just continued on their path to immortality. Soon, Ergozi and Lingye had reached the steps they needed. During this whole process, everyone was almost numb, as if they were used to the understatement of Li Bai and the others. Of course, they still spent a lot of time to accept this fact. Now it seems that it is certain that these adults will reach the summit. Yes, to be called senior by the palace master, you can imagine how terrifying these three seniors are. Great Emperor, these are three great emperors. There is smoke coming out of my ancestral grave, and I unexpectedly met three great emperors and embarked on the road to immortality together. Damn it, yes, I'm going to get something out. Tisk, tisk, think about how bragging I will be in the future. Three great emperors and I have walked on the road to immortality together. I am so excited just thinking about it. Although Li Bai and the other three did not personally reveal their own strength, they are not fools. If they cannot guess it, they are not worthy to be disciples of the immortal sword heavenly palace. Speaking of which, what is the purpose of these three great emperors? Don't tell me that they are here to join the immortal sword Tiangong as disciples. If you really want to join us, it must be the great ancestor. Shut up, the emperor's affairs are not something we and other ants can speculate on. Otherwise, even our fairy sword heavenly palace will not be able to protect you. An elder quickly stopped some disciples from talking. As for Qin Feng and Dugu Kaiubai, they have already taken the road to immortality. After all, they really cannot reach the top any further. They have already won the throne anyway. Congratulations, you two little friends, have become our emperor's sons. The quasi-emperor elder who was conducting the assessment said to Qin Feng and Dugu Kaiufei. Qin Feng and Lonely Kaiufei, on the other hand, were not happy. Lonely Kaiufei was okay, especially Qin Feng, who only felt a cold feeling in his heart. He had just offended, not only contradicted the palace master, but also contradicted the senior. At this time, Qin Shuang pulled Qin Feng aside and said extremely seriously, "Brother, when it's over, you must kneel down and apologize to the palace master and the senior. You know, you don't want our Qin family to decline or even perish." "Sister, I know." Qin Feng looked like an eggplant beaten by frost and said witheringly, "It's good that you can understand. Although our Qin family is also an imperial clan and has a great emperor sitting in charge, compared to the immortal sword Tiangong, it is just a small witch. And an adult who can be called a senior by the palace owner is even more untouchable." Qin Shuang said a little unbearably. He knew that his brother's intentions were not bad, but he was just a little arrogant and domineering. After all, he was the emperor's son of the Qin family, and he had the body of heaven, so it was understandable for him to be a little arrogant. After all, no one in the entire eternal upper realm has ever heard the words of his ancestor. Fenger has the appearance of an emperor. It's a pity that this time I hit the steel plate. Sister, don't worry, I will change it in the future. Qin Feng said extremely seriously, not only for himself, but also for the entire Qin family. It would be great if I could change it. Qin Shuang said with a doting look on her face. Hey, Lao Qin, although I've always seen you unhappy, I didn't expect you to say this yourself. Dugu Kaiubai said teasingly from the side. I went up there to play, and you didn't even know you were blocking me at the time. Qin Feng glanced at Zhuge Qiubai and said. Can you blame me? I don't know where you got the courage. Zhuge Qiubai spread his hands and said. Okay, let me tell you too, if the palace master and that senior were really angry, Xiao Qinzi would have been stunned. Yes, Xuanhuan, you don't have to worry too much. Wu Shui and Qin Miao Miao came to the two of them and comforted them. I hope so, our Qin family can no longer withstand a war. Qin Shuang rubbed her eyebrows and said. At this time, Jian Wuifeng walked up to a few people and said with a smile. 2. Don't worry, I will communicate with my father. I also know that junior brother Qin Feng is not bad in nature, he is just a straight-laced person. Little girl, thank you very much, Emperor. Thank you, Emperor. Qin Shuang and Qin Feng responded. Jian Wuifeng, Shang Guanwaner and others also came to Qin Feng and Zhuge Qiubai to congratulate them, except Suitong. Congratulations, two junior brothers, please introduce yourselves. My name is Chen Tian, third in line. My name is Beizhu, and I am the 6th overall pick. But hey, from now on, I will no longer be the 6th pick. My name is Mu11, you two can just call me Sister Mu. Shang Guanwaner. Only Shang Guanwaner looked extremely cold. Hee, don't mind, Shang Guanwaner is practicing Tai's Hangwuer, you know it? Bai Zhu said from the side. Later, Qin Feng and Zhuge Qiubai gradually became familiar with everyone. Of course, Jian Wuifeng also told them about the spirit race's discovery of the Great Emperor's cemetery. Haha, we all know the nature of the spirit race. This is a naked conspiracy. They must be planning something secretly. Qin Feng sneered and said, people like them from the imperial clan know very well the nature of the spirit clan. Indeed, the spirit race, they have such good intentions. You must know that this is the Great Emperor's cemetery, the place where the Great Emperor fought. As far as I know, there are only a few Great Emperor's cemeteries in the entire world. The most famous one is the Battle of Emperor Luo in the Immortal realm. Zhuge Qiubai frowned and said. First of all, even if we know this is a conspiracy, we can't refuse. Jian Wuifeng said slowly. Why? First of all, this time the geniuses of the Spirit Clan will appear for the first time. It is also a good opportunity for us to get to know them. The second point is that because of the Emperor's cemetery, we can't refuse this temptation. There is no comparison between the Emperor's Fall War that I just talked about and the Great Emperor's cemetery. Although the Emperor's Fall War is known as one of the most tragic wars in the world, it is still slightly inferior to this Great Emperor's cemetery. Not even close. After all, although many great emperors fell in the Emperor's Fall War, they were still mixed with many quasi-emperors and god-kings. It can barely be called the Great Emperor's Cemetery, but this Great Emperor's Cemetery is different. After hearing this, even Chen Tian and others became interested. They only knew the content of the invitation from the spirit tribe, but they were not too clear about the specific content. Okay, come on, stop fishing, I'm almost turning my mouth into a mouth. Chen Tian urged from the side. This is what my father told me. The Great Emperor's Cemetery this time is not in all the worlds. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 340. Boom. This sentence was like a thunderbolt to everyone, with a look of horror on their faces. Even Shang Guanwaner, who had always been indifferent, had doubts and surprises on her face. Holy crap, what do you mean? What do you mean by not being in the world? The amount of information is a bit overwhelming and I can't wrap my head around it. If it's not in all the heavens and worlds, where else could it be? You know we all have a unified title in all the worlds. Jian Wuifeng looked at everyone and asked. A unified title? What the hell? At this moment, Xuanhuan seemed to have thought of something, her tone was serious, and she said word by word. You mean, the world of origin? Xuanhuan also glanced at Xuanhuan in surprise. He didn't expect that she actually knew. You must know that these things are things that only the emperor, or the average emperor, is not qualified to know. That's right, it's the world of origin. According to what my father said, there are many worlds of origin besides our heavens and worlds. Compared with our worlds, we can only rank in the middle of the pack. Xuanhuan sighed and said that it took him a lot of time to digest this matter. As for the rest of the people, they feel that their worldview has collapsed. After all, they have always believed that all the heavens and worlds are all. How could they have imagined that there are many other worlds? Xuanhuan can still be better, but only it is limited to knowing that all the worlds are called the world of origin. I feel like my mentality is a bit broken. This is too terrifying. The eternal upper realm is so huge, and the heavens and worlds are so huge. It is simply unimaginable. There are many more heavens and worlds. What's even more unimaginable to me is that our world can only be ranked in the middle of the pack. Xuanhuan, are you saying that this time the great emperor's cemetery is in another world of origin? Immediately, Xuanhuan stared at Xuanhuan and asked. Yes, it is in other origin worlds, and the reason why I said that the Battle of Emperor's Fall cannot be compared to this time's Great Emperor's Cemetery is because, in this time's Great Emperor's Cemetery, both sides of the battle are great emperors, and they are still two great emperors from the origin world. Xuanhuan said cautiously. After hearing these words, everyone's breathing quickened. This message was too explosive. No wonder, Xuanhuan said, they couldn't refuse this temptation. One can imagine how terrifying the battle between the two origin worlds would be. They could no longer imagine it, and even a little bit of what the two origin world emperors left behind would be enough for them to digest for a lifetime. Emperor Wuofeng, if it is true as you say, we can really reach this great emperor's cemetery. You are worrying too much. The Emperor's cemetery that the Spirit Clan invited us to is only a very small part of this Emperor's battle. It is not the main battlefield. Besides, we are not the only ones, our ancestors will also accompany us. Xuanhuan shook his head and said. Oh, that's good. Okay, you two, there is still some time before the Emperor's cemetery this time, so you don't have to be too impatient. However, you must advance to the God King realm before. After all, only by reaching the God King can we stop the Emperor's cemetery. Get the blood-killing aura, otherwise you will become puppets as soon as you step in. Xuanhuan said to Qin Feng and Dugu Kaiubai. Well, we got it. Thank you, Emperor, for reminding me. Okay, let's continue watching The Road to Immortality. On the other side, Ling Biao and Gozi have reached the 989th floor, which is the step where Gozi needs what he needs. Sister Ling it's strange, I don't feel that it is suitable for me. Gozi said doubtfully. Well, I don't feel any difference, whether it's the release of the soul or the enlightenment of the Great Road. Ling Biao said with a frown. Then, both of them looked back at Li Bai. Gozi, drop a drop of blood on the steps. Soon, Li Bai's voice came into the minds of the two of them. Without any hesitation, Gozi directly forced out a drop of blood from his fingertips. Bo. This drop of blood is like water dripping into a lake, causing ripples in circles. Boom. In an instant, the steps on this level were filled with celestial light, and waves of extremely terrifying imperial power spread outwards, straight into the sky. The entire Immortal Sword Heavenly Palace was also shrouded in an imperial power. Not only that, but even many surrounding forces were aware of the aura. What's going on? This imperial power is coming from the Immortal Sword Heavenly Palace. Is it Xuanhuan? No, this aura is not Xuanhuan. Hiss, could it be that some of their ancestors have awakened? I guess it's almost the same. I don't know which emperor it is. At this moment, in the heavenly palace, Xuanhuan also noticed this aura immediately, and then separated a ray of soul to observe the path to immortality. Countless disciples were so frightened by the imperial power that they vomited blood and fainted. After all, this imperial power had no reservation at all. Fortunately, Lingbian took action in time to isolate this imperial power. Soon, bathed in a fairy light, a drop of blood slowly appeared in the air, and the source of this imperial power was this drop of blood. In this drop of blood, from time to time, there is a burst of dragons and phoenixes, tigers and wolves howling, and other unwilling roars of monsters, which seem to be filled with unparalleled resentment. As the nine-headed lion, Goza felt a pressure that made him surrender at the first time. This was a blood pressure. Is this a drop of blood, or the blood of a monster? Incredible, this pressure, even I feel extremely heavy. Beside him, as the Supreme Spirit, he could also feel the majesty contained in this drop of blood, not to mention that she was not a monster. Goza, swallow him. At this time, Li Bai's voice came from behind the two of them. Master, I can't resist the majesty in this drop of blood, not only that, it seems to want to swallow me. Goza struggled hard and said, his knees gradually bent little by little. If it weren't for the previous breakthrough to the great emperor, at this moment his soul and body would have surrendered to this drop of blood. I forgot the rules of your ancient alien species. Li Bai said lightly, just as he was about to make a move, a phantom suddenly emerged from this drop of blood. It looked like a middle-aged man, but his face was blurry. Not only that, the aura he exuded even made Ling Mei feel extremely scared. Then, the middle-aged man slowly spoke. Nine-headed lion bloodline, such a lowly bloodline, actually wanted to devour me. Hey, ants, let the sword fairy come out, I want to scold him to death. Damn it, he trapped a drop of my blood for so many years, and the surprise he promised was just a hybrid lion.